Someone told you recently that you have changed. Maybe they said it like a compliment. Maybe they said it like an accusation. Either way, what they meant was, you are not who you used to be. And underneath that, I like the old version better. And something in you paused at that. Because there is a part of you that wonders if they are right. If somewhere in the process of changing, you lost something you were supposed to keep. This video is about that pause, and what's actually on the other side of it. Let's start with what's actually happening. When someone says they miss the old you, they're not describing you, they're describing their relationship with you. The old you was easier for them to be in a relationship with, not because you were better, because you were more predictable, more available, more accommodating, less likely to say no, less likely to take up the full amount of space you actually needed to take up. The old you asked for less, required less, pushed back less, and that was comfortable for them, not necessarily for you. Here is the thing about growth that nobody tells you when you start. It is not a neutral event for the people around you. When you change, when you actually change, not just say you are going to, it disrupts the ecosystem. The roles shift, the dynamics shift. The outspoken agreements you had with people start to break down. If you were the one who always showed up, no matter what, your growth might look like starting to prioritize yourself sometimes. If you were the one who never said how you felt, your growth might look like finally saying it. If you were the one who absorbed everyone else's problems without mentioning your own, your growth might look like asking for something for once. And all of that, from the outside, can look like you becoming a worse version of yourself. But it's not. It's you becoming a more honest one. There is a specific type of person who misses the old you, and it's worth identifying then. The person who misses the version of you that had no boundaries. Because your boundaries now mean they can no longer do what they used to do. The person who misses the version of you that was always available. Because your unavailability now means they have to sit with their own stuff instead of offloading it onto you. The person who misses the version of you that never challenged them. Because you challenging them now is uncomfortable in ways they didn't sign up for. Those people are not wrong to miss that version. It genuinely worked better for them. But their nostalgia is not evidence that you should go back. It's evidence that you changed in a direction that served you instead of just them. But let's be honest about the harder part. Because not everyone who misses the old you is simply uncomfortable with your growth. Some people miss you because you are more joyful then, more spontaneous, more open, more willing to laugh at things before you learn to take them seriously. And that's worth sitting with. Growth sometimes costs you a version of lightness you didn't mean to leave behind. And if that's true, if somewhere in becoming more boundaried, more self-aware, more careful, you also become harder, more guarded, less easy to be around, in ways that have nothing to do with others people's comfort, then that's information. Not a reason to go backwards, but a reason to look at what you might be carrying, that you don't actually need to carry. Because the goal of growth is not to become protected, it's to become more yourself. And if somewhere you traded openness for armor, you might want to look at that. There is also the version of you that people miss because you are simply younger, more energetic, less worn, not yet carrying the things that change the way you carry yourself. And that grief, their grief, your own, is real. Some of what's been lost can't be reclaimed. Not because you failed to preserve it, but because time moves and things happen and you become shaped by them. The version of you at 19 is not the version of you at 26. And if those years held things that changed something in you, the loss of that lightness is not a choice you made. It's just what happened. And mourning it, yours and theirs, is allowed. But mourning is not the same as going back. Here is what I want you to understand about the people who see your changes and call it a loss. Their perception of you was built on a version of you that serve a specific function. You were the funny one, the reliable one, the selfless one, the one who never complained, the one who was always fine, the one who held it all together for everyone else while quietly falling apart alone. And you were good at that version. So good that people stopped seeing it as a role and started seeing it as who you are. When you stopped playing it, they didn't see growth. They saw disappearance. Because the version of you they knew had become so central to how they understood the relationship that without it, they didn't quite know where they stood. And that is their work to do, not yours. So what do you do with someone who misses the old you? First, you don't owe them the old you. Not as a gift, not as a compromise, not as proof that you still love them. You have changed. That change is not reversible, and it shouldn't be. Second, you can care about their grief without going back to relieve it. Their discomfort with your growth is real. You don't have to dismiss it, but caring about it doesn't require you to shrink back into something that stops fitting you. Third, some relationships are only possible with a version of you that no longer exists. That's a hard sentence. Sit with it for a second. If the only way to maintain a relationship is to become someone you have moved past, then the relationship was with that person, not with you. And letting go of that is one of the lonelier parts of growth that nobody prepares you for. Because here is the other side of it. The right people don't miss the old you. They are interested in this one. They don't need you to be easier to predict. They don't need you to ask for less. They don't need you to stay at the level where you were when they met you. They grow with you, or they show up at the level you are at now, and it fits. Those relationships are possible, and they are worth more than the ones held together by your willingness to stay small. You changed. Not because you decided to abandon anyone, not because you became selfish, or cold, or too complicated to be around. Because something shifted in you. Because you stopped being able to pretend that certain things were okay. Because you learned something that couldn't be unlearned. Because you survived something that left a mark. And the version of you that exists now is one, the changed one, deserves to keep moving forward. Not back. The people who are supposed to be there for this version will find their way to it. And the ones who can only love the old version, they were loving a chapter, not the whole story. Keep writing.